Good morning, everybody. After the strength of yesterday's crazy video, I had a question from Matthew Mason, and he said, "What do you do about getting companies that pay late or don't pay you?" Now you've got to bear in mind, I've said this before, I'm not the oracle about this. I'm sure there are people out there that know better than me. This is just my experience from my last 10 months of working on the exchange, and I just try and share my knowledge with people and try and help. So this is my take on it. Don't take it as gospel, but this is what. Firstly, what I would say is before you do the job. I mean, there are two things you can do to avoid not getting paid. There's things you can do ahead of time. So, firstly, before you do the job, and you've got to do this quickly because jobs on the CX sell quickly. Have a look at the notes, have a look at the terms and conditions because every shipper is different. Some will pay in 30 days, some will pay in 60 days, some will pay in 30 days from the end of the month. So if you do a job on the 5th of the month, that means you're still not going to get paid for nearly 2 months because they'll process their payments on the 31st and then pay 30 days from that point onwards. This is just their policy and you've got to adhere to them. Some of them will pay 7 days, some will pay 14 days. So look at the terms and conditions. If you think, oh, it's a good job, oh, it pays 60 days, how much do I want it? Is it round the corner? Is it good money? In which case you might think, well, I'll wait for the 60 days. If it's just a Mickey Mouse job, like 20 quid moving a box around the corner, you think, well, if I'm going to have to do this and wait 60 days, maybe go and fetch another one. The other thing also is that this is just a guideline. Some people I know say they pay in 30 days and they pay in 2 days. I know a guy who says he pays in 30 days, pays at the end of the week every week. Some will say they pay in 30 days, 60 days later you're still chasing them. We'll come to that. So with that in fairness, we have come to that. With that in mind, also check their feedback. Have a look. It's you've got you've got your feedback. Collected, was polite, delivered quickly, would use again. Have a look and they say, payment paid quickly, didn't pay quickly. So have a look at their feedback. If they've got good feedback, there's a good chance you are going to get paid when you say you're going to get paid. If there isn't, then again, alarm bells might start to ring and you might think, how much do I want the job? Am I prepared to take the risk? Or maybe move on to a different company that looks like it's got better feedback. So that's the first thing you can do. Before you even take the job, check out their terms and conditions, how quickly they pay, and then check out their track record for paying. So it's two things you've got up front. And then the next thing you can do is don't give them an excuse not to pay you. So when you finish the job, click the email button. Send them the digital signature. Send them the scan of the PDF scan of your paper POD, your signed paper POD. If they haven't given you a paper POD, make your own one up. So send them a scan. Take a photograph of the goods delivered correctly on site. Send them that as well. And then when the job is finished, they're going to think, oh, that's nice. I've got a digital signature. I know it's been delivered. I've got a scan of the PDF and I've got the picture. I know the goods have been done. Fantastic. And then the next thing is process that paperwork quickly. I mean, you can do it when you get home, but sometimes you've been running all day. That's very tiring. I tend to do mine. We tend to do ours now. It's different now, but I used to do mine on a Saturday. So I'd get all my PODs, my paper PODs, and I'd staple them to the paper invoices and send them out second class every Saturday. Get scans of them or photocopy them in case they get lost. And that way, if they turn around and say, well, we pay from we pay from receipt of invoice, they're going to get their invoice within 7 days. So then they will pay from them 7 days. If for some reason it gets lost and they ring you, say, don't worry, I've got a copy, I can send you a copy. So it's something else you can do. Also check on the terms. Some people say, we don't want paper invoicing. If we get a paper invoice, it may delay payment, in which case don't send it. It's a lot of work, but it's things that you can do. So if you do everything correctly, if you check the feedback ahead of time, check the terms and conditions of payment ahead of time, and then process your paper invoices at the end of the week or even that day, post them, that's going to get you paid quickly. With all that in mind, then you still get some companies that are going to mess you around. So what you have to do then is when you're not getting paid, ring them, ask to talk to the finance department. Be polite. So your first thing, say, look, I've done the job, and you can say, have you received the PODs? Have you received the paper invoicing? They'll say yes and no. A little trick that my friend Simple Brian does is because he turns around and they say, well, I haven't had the POD. And he says, well, have you received the paper invoice? And they say, if they say yes, you can go, well, in that case, you have received my POD, because I never send out a paper invoice without stapling the POD to the back of it. What would be the point? And that kind of puts them on the back foot. Then you're going to get companies, and it happened to me once. I was at HBC and I was talking to this northern lad, nice fella, and he said, I've had one company, and he's gone into them, and he said, have you received all my paper POD and my invoices? The guy says, yes. He said, have you received my PODs? He says, yes. He says, and you're still not going to pay me? And the bloke said, no. What you going to do about it? Well, the only thing you can do in that case is you can take him to court. But that's grief. So the other thing I would say is, try not to do too many jobs for the same company, because it sounds fantastic at first. Oh, I'm getting work out, he's going to pay me a fortune. Suddenly 2 months later, he owes you 2-3 grand. And you're not getting paid, and you've got all those diesels and all that. So try to spread your work evenly, and then after a while you will get to know companies. And when you get to know the company, like certain companies I work for, people you know that you can rely on, you can trust, you can do more and more work for them. That is your best chance of getting out there and getting work and getting paid. And like I say, this is just my experience over the last 10 months. If you've got if people out there that I'm sure know much better than me, please leave something in the comments section. I will happily pass it on. Because no one wants to do work for nothing. That's not fair, is it, guys? So anyway, I hope that helps. That's it. Be the weekend soon. I'm at my first drop now. I'm in Slough. They're not open till 9 o'clock. So that's why I'm doing this video for you guys. And in the meantime, take care, take money.